Jaylen, what was it like getting an opportunity to start and make some big plays against Texas to win the season?
I'm just blessed. It was a great opportunity, for the coaches to show that they trust me to be out there on the field, for a big game like that. So it just being me, I just, make the best of this opportunity, and I just made the plays that came to me.
Just how much does Caleb mean to you in terms of getting that confidence to go out there and play at that level?
He gives me a lot of confidence. Caleb's just who he is. He's going to be a first-round pick one day, and he gives me that juice, that energy, and that confidence to go out there and make the plays.
When did you guys get the sense on Saturday that you guys kind of had things rolling? Obviously, you were on 7 points. When did you get that sense early on Saturday?
In practice, we always we just prepare really well, and I feel like going into the game, we had a really good feeling about our chances in the game, and we just going to apply what we prepared for the whole summer.
What's it like having a guy like Lorenzo on that defense, and the different ways that you guys were able to use him?
Lorenzo's a smart player. He's able to play multiple positions on the field, so that helps us with our flexibility out there, in our defensive scheme.
What's allowed you to acclimate so quick, getting this big a role in your sophomore season?
Just my preparation, confidence, and just the way I just go about my business. I feel like I came here. Everybody wants to come here and play, and I feel like I just had that motivation.
Jaylen, you watch a lot. It goes on in front of you. Are you ever surprised by anything Arvell does?
He's a monster. You know what I mean? Like, he just physically imposing. He just does what he looks like he's gonna do.
Jaylen, the effort and motor that you play with seems to come up a lot when you ask people kind of what stands out about your game. You always played that way? How have you, grown into a guy that's just constantly colliding with it?
It's just the chip on my shoulder. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta play every play like it's your last. Why not go hard every play?
Jaylen, people talk a lot about Caleb's time. I'm curious from your perspective what it's like to be on the field as a guy who's so cerebral and sees so many different things and can relay what's going on with it.
Caleb plays with great instincts, and he's very intelligent, so he's able to see things that you might not be able to see. So that helps me out a lot. As he gets to tell me things, I can tell him things I see, and it just helps us both play faster.
How long has it taken to develop that communication between you two? Because y'all seem to be on the same page all day.
I just feel like it's the chemistry, on and off the field. I feel like we're good friends. We built a good relationship since he's been here. It all translates and works together.
How would you describe him? You just talked about it a little bit, but how would you describe him and his ability to recognize what's going on before it happens? Jaylen, is it otherworldly a little bit? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a little it's just in his preparation. He watches a lot of film. He's always in the building, and he just applies it to the field, and it just helps the whole team.
How much does it help you play with confidence when you have guys like Caleb, like Davison, like Jermaine who've already played a lot of football?
Because I just trust them. They're going to put their trust in me, and that just helps me play with a lot of confidence.
You feel like you can kind of just focus on your job, not to worry about anybody else?
Yeah, in a school like this, we got great players all around. Yeah, that's never really an issue. As I just got to focus on what I got to do and what I got to do to help this defense.
When you came in here, there probably weren't a lot of people that would have expected you to make this big of an impact this early. What gave you the confidence to know that you could do this?
Just knowing that rankings really doesn't matter. I know a lot of people say the 3-4 star guys got to work on more development than others, but that really doesn't matter when you get to college. You just got to apply what you already know, play hard, play fast, and just keep on grinding.
What were the things that in your high school that maybe kind of helped you to be more prepared when you got here?
I feel like my high school, we were nothing was really just given to us. We really had to grind. We didn't always just win all the time. We had to learn. We had to get it out. We had to our strength program was good. We always had to just overachieve and just not make the mistakes that everyone else could. We just had to grind it out.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jaylen.